Hey babes, let's talk about a very common abuse tactic known as withdrawal. Quite often an abuser will withdraw things like sleep, food, necessities, socialization, which can also be known as isolation, right, by withholding socialization. They might withdraw your ability to work. They might withdraw something that's important to you or something that is meaningful to you, like some of your favorite items or clothing or affection. And the reason that they do this is to send your brain into a uncertain and dependent mind state, similar to what one would when withdrawing an addiction. Our brains are very interesting things, and our brain can be tricked into having an addiction to everyday things. Do we remember those weird shows that were like, I have a strange addiction, and it's things that are not addictive, like toilet paper, and people are addicted to eating them? Or when people have addictions to things that are just not substantially, like on their own as a substance, addictive. It's the same thing. It's because they kind of go through this withdraw and give back. And that's exactly what an abuser does to keep people latched onto something, right? So in a relationship, there's the cycle of abuse with an abusive relationship. They're going to love bomb. They're going to shower you in affection, and then they go into abuse. Quite often, withdrawal is used during that time. That may look like silence treatment. That may look like withholding affection. That may look like not letting you do things you enjoy, not letting you hang out with friends, not letting you speak to people, censoring what you wear, what you say, what you do, not letting you sleep. So that when they come back with the love bomb, it's going to feel so much greater, so much better, so much amplified, right? It's kind of like breadcrumbing. That's what it is. It's breadcrumbing, and it helps amplify the breadcrumb experience, because if they withdraw you and you don't allow you to eat, as an analogy, okay, they don't let you eat for like a day, and then they give you a breadcrumb. You're probably going to be more likely to accept the breadcrumb, whereas if you're used to eating 3 meals a day and they walk up and say, here's a breadcrumb. You know what I mean? So what do? You find yourself realizing that you are going through this tactic, however that looks in your life. How do you respond? What do you do? The first thing to do is you're going to want to build up your ability to validate yourself. First thing right off the bat is you're going to want to build up the ability to, with withdrawal, respond as if you are an addict in withdrawal. If you're feeling yourself crave their affection, if you're feeling yourself craving whatever it is they're taking from you, do your best to gain your own control over what you do have control. I understand it's not always applicable to be able to just leave and sleep, for instance. Abusive situations are very tricky. We don't always have that option. So try and find any option you can to validate yourself, to love yourself, particularly if this is going to be with withdrawing affection, withdrawing socialization. Do your best to kind of go within, and instead of seeking their affection stronger, instead of seeking their validation, instead of seeking them to fill that withdrawal, try to fill it yourself, and just watch how you start to detach from the abuse cycle once you do so, okay? If they take away something that's meaningful to you, something that brings you joy or purpose, do your best to breathe. And instead of panicking to reach for that item, shift your attention to something that is at your disposal or is at your access to help bring you joy. Okay, so this might look like, let's say you have an attachment to a certain childhood sentimental object. They remove it, throw it away, whatever it is. I've actually experienced this as a child as an abuse tactic. My mother would go through and kind of get rid of things that were very meaningful to me and then act like she never did that. It never happened. And I learned from a really young age to, instead of panic and where's that toy, look at it, accept, okay, I'm grieving that, I'm missing my toy, that's very upsetting, feel the feeling, and then shift. I do have this toy that can bring me joy and bring me comfort, so I'm going to shift to that. And it can apply to adult topics as well, right? If somebody's withdrawing affection, you can go, wow, okay, that feels really crappy. Breathe. Breathing is huge in regulating yourself. Take a breath and realize, okay, I can go give myself affection. Can hug myself, right? I can make myself a good little snack, a treat. I can do so many things. And if you can't do things like leave to go be fully alone, maybe you can go to the restroom and compliment yourself in the mirror. Maybe you can just tell yourself in your head, okay, I don't need them to tell me that I'm loved, because I know I'm loved. And just kind of reassure yourself on your own time and space. And the goal with that is going to be, as you practice over time, you're going to feel less dependency on the abuser with their tactics, right? You're going to feel less dependency on that breadcrumb tactic, and you're going to be able to actually make yourself more independent, and it'll be easier to detach from the relationship once you are ready to do so. Okay, again, this always applies to anything more than romance. It can apply to family, professional relationships. It can platonic, friendship, other kinds of relationships that can't really fit under those categories. Really, any type of relationship. I hope this helps somebody. I love y'all.